What's up, Drop Pod listeners? You can check out new episodes of the Drop Podcast every Wednesday, wherever you listen to podcasts. You can find all of our content on YouTube at the Drop Golf Podcast and on our socials. That's Instagram and Twitter at the Drop_pod. No matter how you consume us, like, subscribe, rate, review, all that good stuff. Follow and listen along.
This episode is presented by All County Exteriors. All County Exteriors is a third-generation, premier exterior home remodeling company celebrating over 40 years in business. In a remodeling world where the average remodeling company only survives in business for only 5 years, All County Exteriors has stood the test of time, providing their customers with top-quality roofing, siding, windows, and doors. They service homeowners and builders with anything from small repairs to large additions. All County Exteriors is not just limited to construction. They have a deep passion for giving back to their community and are charitable supporters of the Make-A-Wish Foundation, American Cancer Society, Roofs for Troops, and Parents of Autistic Children. If you have planned to do any exterior remodeling, call the experts at All County Exteriors for a free, no-obligation estimate for your project. Just call 732-370-2780 or email them at info@allcountyonline.com. That's 732-370-2780 for All County Exteriors, for all your remodeling needs. This is the Drop Podcast, where we talk golfing in the Garden State. I'm Mike Poro, and this is Ryan Kulot.
What's going on, Drop Pod people? How we doing this week? Mike and I got a big week. We got a lot of stuff we want to talk about. Mike, again, we say it all the time, but just excited to be here again. Let's talk some golf this week. Yesterday was today, the 7th of February, is coming out episode 70. Whew. Again, as these numbers keep rising, I said it for like a random number. I think it was episode 67, but again, episode 70, we're rolling. It's been fun. Let's keep it up here.
Full steam ahead.
Yeah, man. So that's today, Wednesday, February 7th. Yesterday, go back to our YouTube channel. Episode 8 of TPI Tuesdays came out on February 6th, yesterday. It's kind of, Mike, I had to pull up a calendar because it's weird to think about, because we're recording not on the 7th. So it's to think about, like, in the future, I got to think about past days that still haven't happened yet. It's kind of interesting.
Become a part-time psychic.
Exactly, yeah. So Tuesday, TPI Tuesday, episode 8 came out yesterday. If you didn't check it out, again, go over to our YouTube page and check out what Dr. Mike and I got cooking over there. We put the post on Instagram, but send you to our YouTube page, because it's long form. It's a long form video. It's not one of those short ones for Instagram. So go check it out there. Mike, I put out a Ryan's Versus. I played the 6th hole at Tidewater last week. Put that out on February 1st. So that's a week ago. So tomorrow, February 8th, we're going to take off. This week, as we've said, we're going to kind of go every other week. So got some stuff cooking there. So we're going to take this week off. We'll put one out the 15th. We'll take the 22nd off. We'll put one out on the 29th, leap year this year. So February 29th will be another one. We'll skip the 7th, put one out the 14th. And then that's kind of the middle of March. We should really be rocking and rolling with maybe some more content. But I'm going to go through my Ryan's Versus at Tidewater, and then we'll put out the 3 with me. I played 3 back-to-back holes at Tidewater and recorded them, and we'll put that out there. So that's in the works too. So make sure you're staying around. Again, the YouTube, the Instagram page. We got some stuff coming out that you're not going to want to miss there.
Yeah, I mean, listen. Like I said before, I'm jealous. At one point this winter, you got to tee it up. And I enjoy watching them, and I love the comments. I love one comment. Someone said, great read, or something along the lines of one of your putts about great read, and
it was an accident.
Yeah. So I mean, listen, I love the engagement, because it just shows it further shows that like people are enjoying what we're doing. Obviously all the DMs I get, I greatly appreciate as well. But it's always fun when you post something like that. People are clearly watching it to the end and seeing kind of how you did. And I think that's the intriguing aspect of it.
And I think, if you remember back from a while ago, you and I kind of had some different ideologies on what we wanted to do with those. I kind of wanted my Ryan versus to be a little more long form, so to speak. But and you wanted the quick hitters. And I think the quick hitters are the way to go with those. Quick, show every shot, try to keep it under a minute. And then the 3 with me be the long form kind of situation. Talk about the course, talk about the holes, be a little more of a storyteller, so to speak.
Yeah, I think the retention rate kind of dictates that to me. And I think obviously me being a numbers guy and following the analytics, like you can see when people are starting to die off on it. And the objective really is for us, let's showcase the whole hole. Let's see all the shots because, like to anything, if you make a birdie and you only watch the first 2 shots because it took us 90 seconds to get through them because we're talking, it kind of defeats the purpose. Like I may click off that because I don't feel like listening to someone. So, I do think the quick hitters, to your point, makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and again, going the other way, the 3 with me. If you're searching for that, if you find that, you're looking for something more long form. So I think we're trying to find our niche, trying to find our way through this, and I think we're starting to get it. So yeah, I'm glad that I make you jealous that I got to play some golf, and hopefully we'll have a little bit mild winter and be able to get out there sooner, and hopefully we won't be able to miss any big stretches of time here with this.
Yeah.
Today's guest, we have a absolute stud on today. Danny Lewis is the new and kind of breaking news here. The new head pro at St. Martin's of the Philly Cricket Club out in Pennsylvania. He's been an assistant pro at Hollywood for the last however many years, 5 years. And is just an absolute stud in the New Jersey section. He has he's won the assistant pro 3 times, back to back. So again, not a small feat. Danny is an absolute stud, and we wish him best of luck. That's really pretty recent that he got the head pro's position there. So, I don't want to say we break it, but I think we're the first to really talk about it pretty with some depth there. So
I don't think we break it. I think we announce it.
Yeah,
and I think we're the people that get that word out to the masses. And to Danny's point, he considered himself a late bloomer. I jokingly said throughout the interview, hell, I know I'm 40, but I guess I'm waiting to be my late bloomer because that dude says, he didn't win much. And now all he frankly did in the, New Jersey PGA was win. Again, he just came off another, assistant player of the year for the NJ PGA. And I think the one thing about the interview, and I always say interview, but I really feel like they're conversations with these guys we have on. Yeah. But the story he told about playing with former President Trump was kind of interesting. And again, I know politics can become a very dicey subject for a lot of us, whether you like him, you hate him, you're in the middle, you're indifferent, whatever the case is. Okay. Just the stories he was sharing about that scene, more or less, was really cool. So you got to stick around and listen to that.
Yeah, it really is a good story. And to your point, Mike, again, there's some people in this country that can't put politics aside, but for I would say the masses, even if you don't like them, you can still set aside some politics and kind of appreciate the circus that former President Trump would have around him, and kind of imagine what it's like being in Danny's shoes as he's going through his story with playing with President Trump. So really pretty neat, pretty interesting there. So that's our weekly schedule, kind of what we got going on, and now we're gonna get some big news, guys.
Yeah. So let me. I'll
let you go, Mike. You're gonna start it
because this was something I teased last week, and it wasn't 100% finalized on a lot of different things, but I think like anything, the idea of what we talked about last week is our podcast evolving, taking the next step, and after now 69 episodes, entering number 70, what better way as a round number to announce is that The Drop Podcast has officially joined the Golfer Gang Network. Now, I know people may say, well, what is that? What is that going to entail? Is that going to change the product? Is that going to change how it sounds when it comes out? No, nothing changes. It's still Ryan and I. It's still golfing in the Garden State. We're still focusing on highlighting all things here at home. What we end up doing is putting our podcast in a community of other golf-related podcasts. So the Golfer Gang Network is a brand new network of golf podcasts for the everyday golf fan. If you want the latest PGA Tour news, we've got you covered. If you want the latest golf in your area, the Golfer Gang Network has that too. The Golfer Gang Network was built to bring golf talk to the weekend golfer, the scratch golfer, the breakfast baller, the scramble player. It covers every different aspect of the game of golf. So listen, you got to be on the lookout. We'll be there promoting. They'll be there promoting. It's a Golfer Gang Network. It's going to have its own website. You're going to have areas to find all the feeds for your specific podcast that you're looking for. But also understand it's going to be a community of podcasts that is dedicated to diehard golfers like us, looking to listen to different people, get different perspectives. But just understand, this is just the beginning. So I'm excited about this new adventure. I'm excited about this new endeavor. And like anything, it comes with a little risk and a little, some challenges. But I think from the beginning, everything that's kind of coming our way, we found a way to overcome. Obstacles are going to be there in life regardless. But I think this is an opportunity for us that we couldn't bypass because it's going to get the podcast to more eyes, more ears, and it's just going to create an even bigger platform for us to express what we got going on here.
Yeah, no doubt. And Mike, as you said, it's new. And anything that's new, it's scary, it's exciting, it's new for us. And when Mike and I, started this, it was kind of like a hobby, and it's now grown into a business. And when we think like, how do we want to grow our business? This is it. This is like the next step for our, quote unquote business, so to speak. This is what we want to get into, a place that's going to be, that's going to have it in one location, syndicate it to more people, get it to more ears. And that's what we want. So
yeah. And
excited to be a part of it. The Golfer Gang Network. I'm very excited.
And like anything, when you're in the ground level, it's going to take some time to build and grow. But I think what we have done in 70 now episodes, with it just being you and I, there is not an operation of people behind the scenes doing this. It's you and I handling every single editing, creating, developing, publishing that goes on, plain and simple. And the idea that now we have a network of other people to kind of push ideas off or hop on their podcast to promote this or talk about, like, I like to say the analogy really is like, you guys understand where Barstool Sports is. Let me phrase this. It's not Barstool Sports. It's not that big conglomerate of a media. No. But when you think about Barstool Sports, they have multiple different areas. They have football. They got basketball. They got comedy. They got golf. This network here, when it comes to Golfer Gang Network, has that same thing, but all in the golf area, environment, arena. Like we're talking, you want to talk about New York, they got it. You want to talk about Pennsylvania, they got it. They got all these different things. And we are going to be the people when it comes to New Jersey, that if you're coming to this state, you're coming to us. We're going to be those people that are here to help, serve, and do what we can to make this product even better. And I'm beyond excited because, like a lot of things, I think when I get passionate about something and I get fueled by it, I am all in, and I can just foresee that this is a great relationship that will happen.
Yeah, and Mike, I'm going to take a quick second. I know I don't always say it enough to you, but you did you did all the background work for this. You did all the connecting, Mike's our DM guy. Anyone that's reached out to the podcast, the only way it's me is if I put my initials after it. Otherwise, you're talking to Mike. So Mike's the digital voice of the podcast. So Mike, great job setting it up, doing all the legwork. I really I hope I appreciate all your hard work.
Much appreciated.
Even if it doesn't always seem like it.
Listen, Ups and downs.
Yeah.
Listen, it's never. I think everybody always thinks because it's like the Instagram life. You always put out the good stuff. No one understands what goes on behind the scenes, and it's not always roses. It's not.
Mhm.
There's going to be disagreements. There's going to be arguments, and there's going to be compromises. And I think that's what comes down to it. It's like finding what we think at the end of the day is the best thing for the podcast. And after doing the homework and doing the research and having uncounting how many conversations I had with Jeff about this was the right decision, and I'm excited for it. So keep a lookout. Listen, we'll be blasting Golfer Gang Network out there to get your eyes and ears on different podcasts. You may even see us hop on different ones as well as we continue this journey. So super excited, and I can't wait to see what these next 6 months have in store.
Yeah, absolutely. Keep an eye out for all that we got coming up.
Now, I want to say one more thing. Now, moving to the next topic.
Okay.
Before we get going, I got another tease here. More like, I know last week I talked about this second edition of the Drop Podcast Polos coming out. But boy, oh boy, I think they are about to be shown on social media within the next 7 to 10 days. I truly, truly believe that. And I know people were saying to me in DMs and asking me, well, Mike, you didn't say who was making them. You didn't say what the design looked like. You didn't say anything like that. And I said, I know, purposely. I purposely did that.
It's the definition of a tease, people.
Yeah, but it's also, I am also respectful to different advertisers that come on the show, and they're involved in the show. So Swannies has been an advertiser on the show for probably 3 months, and they did not want to re-up in terms of what we were looking to do, or didn't have the same vision that we did. So I took what I had in my crazy mind to Chris Payne back at Fluke Apparel Co. because the relationship that we had with them was very solid. It was very good.
Absolutely
we
was.
loved their product. And the one thing that I value more than anything else is communication. And Chris at Fluke Apparel simply does that. I don't know how else to say that, but I know there were some speed bumps in understanding what the product was last year. And to your point, it was a little snug on your brethren. I get it. So I went back to Chris and I said, hey, listen, we need to come together and find a way to make another great shirt, but for both sizes here. Not only the smaller guy like myself, but Ryan's brethren on the bigger side. And I think we've developed that. And I think we found that. And I can't lie. We got 3 new polos in the works. They're different than last year. They still have our sweet little logo right there on the left chest. We still got Chris's logo center neck. And I think the 3 shirts that you're going to see, not only does the material and the look speak for themselves, but the product itself is just simply so good. And I'm dying to get everybody's hands on it. I'm dying to push it out there. I've seen the rough drafts. I've seen the mock-ups. I am chomping at the bit to put one of those damn things on because, like I just said with the Golfer Gang Network, when I get excited about something and I truly believe that rocket ship, like I said, is going to the moon, this is just another example. And the other thing I will say is I know people did not like the pre-ordering aspect of it. They didn't like the idea that they ordered it and they had to wait for it to come in. They didn't like the fact that they had to wait and it didn't come to some people till July-ish. Okay, I think we've got that fixed as well to where you order it and it'll be at your door. It's not this I'm going to wait and see type thing. So I promise Chris and I at Fluke Apparel Co., if you haven't, go check their site out. He's absolutely amazing. But I can't lie. You wanted some fixes? I like to think I'm a problem solver here, people. If there are more complaints, file my way. I'll just continue to check that box to make this even better.
Mike, that's breaking news even to me. I didn't know that we fixed that. You and
Listen, behind the scenes, there's like the puppet master pulling the strings, trying to make everything smooth and happy. Because listen, just like you, when I tee the first ball up April 1st and I can post my first damn score, I know what I'll be wearing. I know what you'll be wearing. And I pray to God that I see that out there on other people as well. Because it is so good. It is such a great design. And I'm itching, and I can't lie. I've been wanting to put a post out there on social media to say, hey, listen, there is a big tournament that goes off in April too. And I've been working with some things to make some colors match, if you can get my drift.
You're picking up what I'm putting down. Yeah, Mike, all that's true. And I'd say this, I like working with good people. I think Mike's a good person. And as you communicate with him, and you, as I just said a minute ago, you do all that stuff behind. All that's great. I think he's a great guy. I think he's a fun guy. Any conversation we've had, anytime we've been with him, like, here's an example, real quick. I went and picked up I had to pick up some polos last year. He had some stuff for me. So I met him. We met in a parking lot, and I was with my dog. So the dog's got the window down in the back. He got out of his car, walked around, said hi to me, a little quick dap, and then it's like petting the dog from the, like, he's just like, I like good people, and he's a good person, and I like working with someone who's a good person. So for me, again, I know it didn't work with Swannies and all that, and that's fine. That's they're a business as well. We're a business, and business interests need to match up if you're going to collaborate on something. And I'm happy to come back to Fluke as well, and happy and hopeful that we've fixed some of the sizing situations, maybe not issues, but and that's something that that I'm excited to see. Yeah, you learn from. Yeah, we learn from and go forward. Again, same thing with, like, Mike and I are new to this process, right? We don't know how clothing production works. It's not something that we've ever been involved in, so it's new for us as well. So we figured, yeah, okay, let's do that. Well, a lot of people didn't like it, so we got to try something different. I'm excited to be back with Fluke. I think their stuff is great. I love the design, that, like, coastal casualness to it. I think it's tremendous. And even, like, we're going to get some drop pod polos. If you don't know, if you've never been, head over to flukeapparelco.com and go check out their other stuff. They got, like, those long sleeve sun shirts that are, like, if you're going on a boat for a long time, it's got, like, the hood to it, to the back. Actually, not very dissimilar from what I'm wearing now, but it's not Fluke. But, like, they got awesome stuff. Again, great for, like, the beach. Their t-shirts, their long sleeves, the long sleeve hoodies. They do a great job over there at Fluke. So I'm excited to be there as well with Chris.
So stay tuned. Stay tuned. George Wall Ford in Red Bank, New Jersey is family owned and operated, proudly serving New Jersey residents with superior customer service since 1960. Rye, share your story about your experience there.
Mike, I went on a tangent in one of our episodes previously about it, but I can't say enough good things about George Wall Ford. I needed a new car. I had an old. I loved the brand that I had. I loved, it was an SUV, but had 165,000 miles on it. It was just time, So I hopped on over to George Wall Ford. I saw our guy Jerry, and Jerry and his team were awesome. I mean, from stem to stern, they're there. They're helping. They're knowledgeable. They have so many cars on the lot that you can go in and say, hey, I want a sunroof, a navigation. I want this kind of rims on it. I want this kind of this, that, and the other thing. There's a great chance that they have that car with all your specs, the color, all that thing. Me, I didn't particularly care. I just I was like, hey, I want to be high up in the car, right? I need an SUV. I'm a big guy. I got a dog. I got golf clubs. I got beach chairs in the summer. I need something that's a little more rugged, a little more. Again, I like to be higher in my car. And I went and saw Jerry. He pointed me in the right direction. And again, it's awesome to have that kind of help and support from your salesman to the finance guy to even they got somebody who helps you set up your car, right? I got an app on my phone now that's got my auto start on it. I can locate my car if I don't know where it is. I could take a trip to Japan if I wanted to and be like, did I lock my car? And I can go into the app and lock my car. So even people helping you set up that stuff, just the hands-on approach over there is incredible. So if you need a car, head on over to George Wall. And go ask for Jerry. They were awesome there. Again, stem to stern from everybody. I can't say enough good things about it. It was an unbelievable experience.
So to Ryan's point, there isn't a better place to shop for a brand new car. Just call 732-704-1932 and ask for Jeremy Wall. George Wall Ford in Red Bank for all your car buying needs.
All right, Mike. Let's start here. Actually, we've talked a bit about this off air in the last year plus about how the PGA Tour just doesn't seem to have the social presence or the digital presence that they really should. They seem like they're missing out. It seems old that there's cameras on the course. Why are we waiting until 3:00 for coverage to start? Well, I don't understand it. The cameras are already there. Just turn them on. Turn them on. Have them videotaping something. There's guys out on the course that we want to see their shots. And there's, to me, no reason in this day and age, 2024, that we can't do that. It's not 1994 where technology is lagging behind or where you have to have someone have the camera, holding the camera, actually record, holding the record button. It's over their shoulder like this, right? It's so much, the technology has gotten so much better. And for the PGA Tour not to have every shot be available to anyone that wants to see the shot, it quite frankly is criminal activity, and they should be investigated as such. But just this week, it was announced that LIV is doing exactly that. The LIV Tour is doing, they're going to be able to put all their shots on shot traced and out there so we can watch it. And I think that this is just another thing that, again, we've been kind of anti-LIV Tour before, but they're doing things that and making changes that are just, the PGA Tour is just, sometimes it's just the old man get off my lawn kind of tour, and the LIV Tour is doing things that need to be done, quite frankly, and this is one of them. And good on them for seeing a change, making a change, or seeing a thing. Again, I don't know why this hasn't been a thing for years and years and years for the PGA Tour. Maybe they're scared for ratings, that it's going to turn people away between 3 and 6, because that seems to be the only time that they broadcast stuff. But I don't know. To me, this is a no-brainer and another feather in the cap for LIV. And I'm not very excited to be giving LIV feathers in their caps, but they're doing a good job with this kind of stuff. So good for them being able to put that on and show the people the shots. Bryson's hitting golf balls a mile. Brooks is hitting golf balls. Just because Brooks had a bad Thursday doesn't mean on Saturday he's not going to shoot 64. We should be able to see those shots. He's hitting 5 irons to within 2 feet. Show the people that shot. Just because he teed off at 8 a.m. doesn't mean that there's not good golf shots.
Listen, and I think, to your point, listen, I know when we both saw that, and I know where we kind of stand with LIV Golf. But like anything in life, competition sometimes is a good thing. It puts people back on their toes and say, okay, I got to get my shit together. And this is a perfect example, because LIV's new platform, okay, which is going to work with the Google Cloud, that shows, quote, any shot, anytime feature that's launching this summer. Bro, I don't understand what is going on with the PGA Tour. And I'm hopeful. I know I've heard Colin Morikawa come out and say it. I know I've heard Max Homa come out and say it. But the fact is, with the Strategic Sports Group giving $3 billion on a $12 billion investment, that they've come out and say, well, it better be better for the fans. I don't understand how I have to sit and watch on golf Twitter somebody hitting a shot that, if it's 9 o'clock in the morning or 10 o'clock in the morning, and I want to watch that guy tee off dead last because he made the cut, so be it. Let me watch that, because I'll give you some examples. For guys like us, if Ryan McCormick, Max Greiserman, or Chris Goddard makes the damn cut, right, and say they're not in contention, and I don't get to watch them at 3 o'clock because that's when it hops on CBS. Maybe we need to call our boy Jim Nantz and say, hey, listen, can you pull some strings behind the curtain and say, hey, listen, get this on? Because no offense, I would watch Chris Goddard play from hole 1 through 18, regardless of where he's placed. I would watch every shot that Ryan McCormick hits from shot 1 to shot 18, regardless if he's winning or makes the cut. So I don't understand how Live Golf is doing all these things, and we're going to say on the PGA Tour, oh, by the way, you guys are going to wait to 3 o'clock, and it hops on with our boys, Dan Hicks on NBC, or our guy, Jim Nance at CBS, and I'm like, okay, well, that sucks because, you know what, at 3 o'clock, my guy that I wanted to watch is over. He's done. And I got to go to PGAtour.com to see, did he make a par on 1? Did he make a birdie on 7? To me, it's just inexcusable in the world we live in today that every single thing, you want more viewers? God damn it, the NFL puts everything on there. You watch every play at the NFL. It could be a blowout. They got the red zone. Okay? You want to go get your own little subscription to this? Go get it. You can go watch that team all the time. The fact is, if the PGA Tour wants to grow and wants to find ways to get to outside people, not this 65-year-old guy that watches at 3 p.m., and you want to start diving into the younger audience, well, the streaming is the way to go. And for whoever's sitting behind the desk making these decisions, need to listen to what these PGA Tour pros are saying. Because if you don't do it, guess what? John Rahm left. Terrell Hatton just left. A young stud Caleb Surt just left. They're all going to go. They're all going to go because it's guaranteed money. And if you're not giving the audience what they want, the PGA Tour is just going to be just that guy. Thank God for Tiger Woods.
And
sorry for my rant.
No, it's needed because these guys, it's money for them too. Like they might not be shown, they might not be making a lot of money, but now in today's day and age, the 2024 athlete is their own brand, right?
100%. 100%.
They could be as much on Instagram as they want to, YouTube, that they can post all their stuff. And if they're not being shown and no one's seeing their shots, it's tougher for their brand.
It's tougher for the sponsors that sponsor them. If I have a Fluke Apparel hat on my head, right, and I make the cut, right? Unfortunately for Fluke Apparel, they don't get to ever see that on TV because I just made the cut and maybe I finished T30th. They're not showing that. Yes, I collect a check. And yes, the people that are live there watching get to see me wearing the hat. But what about everybody else that wants to still watch these guys hit golf shots?
Yeah.
To me, like, if I'm a sponsor, yeah, let me go. Listen, obviously, the world we live in, would I have to pay for a subscription to do it? Sure, probably. But guess what? I may pay for that to watch my guy hit the shot. The same way the NFL pays for that subscription to watch their team. Yeah. It's no different. The model with the NFL works. I get it. We don't have Taylor Swift. Okay, we don't have that to make things even bigger. Okay, fine. But when Tiger makes cuts, I want to watch every single damn shot Tiger hits. When Chris Goddard makes a cut, I want to watch every damn shot Chris Goddard hits. Max Greisman, Ryan McCormick, the same damn thing. And it has to happen on the PGA Tour. Otherwise, we're just going to get left behind because we're sitting in, like you said, 1994, and it's 2024.
Yeah.
Get your act together.
Yeah, be better, right? Just be better because there's no reason not to. Evolve is a great word as well. Mike, I don't, like, even think about like Sunday, right? If you had a guy who's just your favorite, like you could be a Colin Morikawa guy, you could be a Jordan guy, you could be like even these guys that are on the PGA Tour. Maybe it wasn't their week, and they're just playing on Sunday, but they teed off at 9, or maybe they had a day. Someone's going low. Whatever the case is, they're on the course at 3 o'clock. They're on hole 15, and we don't ever get to see 15, 16, 17, or 18 because they just were never in contention. So it's never like they never show their shots at all because they were just kind of around that day. They were just on the course. Even that's not right. We should be able to watch their shots at any time because there's cameras on the course. Turn them on. Yeah, I don't know how else to say it. Let us see. Figure it out.
Yep. I'm hopeful that competition like this. Okay, I'm hopeful that competition like this brings out the PGA Tour and says, listen, I know you have PGA Tour Live. I know on ESPN Plus it puts it on there. It's there. People can go watch it. Give me the option to watch every shot of any guy I want. So, listen, I saw that. I know you and I talked about that off air. I just hope that changes are made to make the product better. That's the only thing that the majority of this audience is looking for. You have the means. So now let's put an end to those means to make it matter for everybody.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more, Mike. Again, we're fully on the same page. Mike, let's stay on the PGA Tour for a second, and let's go to your boy. Let's talk Tiger.
Well, I will say this real quick about Tiger before we dive into the info that came out, okay, on a few websites about what he will be talking about on Monday of the Riviera. Did you know where Tiger was? Did you know where Tiger was this past week?
Monday the 12th.
Correct.
He's talking Monday the 12th.
Right. I apologize. Yeah.
That's okay.
Do you know where Tiger was this week?
I don't.
He was in New Jersey.
Oh.
Do you know where Tiger visited?
What per se was he doing in New Jersey?
Do you know where he was visiting?
I got a couple spots in mind.
Okay. Do you want to take a guess? I'm
going to guess Trout National.
He was.
Down in South Jersey.
So Tiger was here in New Jersey, scoping out his course.
Yeah.
That he's putting together with his boy Mike Trout. They were both there, both on scene, both looking at what is going on. And it's crazy when you see the before and then like kind of like the during and what it is. But man, that you can start to see the outlines of the bunkers. You can start to see the outlines of the golf course, and seeing Tiger, who's obviously a South Florida guy, not ever wearing wool hats and hoodies and sweatshirts and jackets, like seeing that dude all bundled up because he's coming to the Northeast. Like it was kind of funny to see him all decked out. He's got everything on, the covering everything basically but his face. But yeah, he was checking out his course with Mike Trout. So Trout National.
Yeah, we haven't talked a ton about that, Mike, but that's going to be one that's going to be a national barnstorm. It's going to come in hot onto the national scene when it's finished because just of the power players that are. Tiger's designing it, Mike Trout's with them. There's no doubt to me that that's going to be a phenomenal golf course and jump into the top 100 in the country super quickly. And see where it goes from there. Tiger's not putting his name on something that's just going to be a muni course that's not going to be done right. You know what I mean? Like that's going to be done right from stem to stern, from top to bottom, from A to Z. Tiger's doing it right. And it's going to have all the amenities. It's going to have a good design, a tough design. It's going to be, whatever the clubhouse is going to be. They're not skimping out on. They're not designing a golf course that's top level and bringing in dirt from places and sand from other places, and then going to getting the sale rack at Home Depot for the clubhouse. They're not doing that. So it's going to be a phenomenal place.
And listen, I can't lie. You know how crazy I am with the DMs and the text messages, and I've been fortunate to connect with someone pretty good over there about what is going on. And I can't lie. I know I even teased you in a text message about it. And I can't dive into anything on air about this, but let's just say that the door has been cracked about getting some more info, possibly on ground, in person. Trout National, it is in New Jersey, and this podcast is all about golfing in the Garden State. So I wouldn't be doing my due diligence if I didn't try, and then try some more. Hey, just putting it out there. Watch out, Mike, the big dog, the big cat was here in New Jersey.
Mike with the tease. It feels so good when you tease.
Listen, I can't lie. Listen.
It's my Wedding Crashers quote. I know you don't do movies, Mike. That's from Wedding Crashers.
No, but listen, you know me. Listen, I am finagling and talking and experimenting and trying this and that. And the door was cracked open for me. And I'm hopeful that I can just continue to open it a little more every so often, because what would be better than getting to firsthand?
Yeah.
Live, in person?
Incredible.
Just saying.
I'll tell you, I think it'd be really cool to see the golf course. Like, obviously we didn't see it before, but to see it while it's being
there wasn't
constructed.
anything before. It was trees,
Well,
woods.
that's what I'm
grass,
saying. Like,
yeah.
right. But so right. Trees, grass, all that kind of stuff. But Tiger walked through the woods then and saw a vision for the golf course. We talked about that when we went down to Union League. Like, they saw a vision for what they wanted to do.
Right.
And
I guess the only difference, though, I will say this: the only difference, Union League, there were 27 holes of sand barrens there.
Right.
Okay, so there was some outline. Tiger's team himself and Trout saw land and said, untapped market in a golf-infused state. This in a county where, frankly, there is no golf.
Yep.
We can be that golf. It's going to be that.
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah,
but I will. Yeah,
it'd be cool to. I was gonna say it'd be cool to see like the dooring, right? Like we've talked to James and like the restorations they're doing up at North Jersey, but like it'd be cool to see the dooring of it and then the after. That would be really interesting.
Listen, I can, to your point there, because you don't know what I'm doing.
No, I don't have a clue.
There might be something to that point right there.
Oh,
that is going on. But moving on.
Okay.
You know, the tease is over. You got the hint. You kind of can understand where I'm going with my navigation system here. We're going to do some orienteering and now going in a different direction. But yeah, Tiger's making his announcement. February 12th, the Monday before Riv. I freaking can't wait to hear where he is going with his line. Now, I know we all are saying it's tailor-made. It's Sunday Red. You saw some of the trademarks. You saw some of the logos.
God, they got to fix that logo.
But I don't know if that's definitive. We don't know it. We hear that that's what is going to happen. But I can't wait to think that the big cat is going to be teeing the damn golf ball up in a matter of what? 8 days from today. Like, oh my God, I cannot wait. February 15th cannot come fast enough. Seeing that dude go out there and just smoke it 300 yards down the middle of the fairway. He's going to win the damn tournament. And I'm going to tell you, 6 months ago, like I said, you should have bet him to win Augusta because he's going to win the damn thing. And after he wins Riv, the odds are going to be even worse, where you could have made a lot of money. You could have retired. You could have sailed into the sunset if you just listened to me 6 months ago.
Well, to be fair, you don't know if I did or didn't put a bet on him to win Augusta.
You would have told me and showed me that bet slip if you
did. Would I have?
Yeah,
no, maybe I got a tease up in my up in my sleeve.
There's
as well.
no tease. There's no tease. You're lying.
I think we're all excited to see exactly what the reveal is going to be, right? There's been rumors, and maybe it's tough to even call them rumors because they seemed like they were so solidly put out that he's tailor-made. That logo that we both agreed has some really cool parts and needs to get rid of some stuff, but there's still a bit of like mystique around it or mystery until he officially comes out with it. So he walks up to that podium on the 12th. We're all excited to see what's going on with it. So, yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see and excited to see what this next kind of venture is for Tiger and go from there.
Yeah, listen,
what do you think he wears to the podium?
Be a part of the next chapter, as he says, and TaylorMade's been saying, come be a part of the next chapter. Obviously, they're giving you all the clues. I think he shows up with that Tiger logo on his left chest.
Is it red? Is he wearing like a Sunday red Tiger outfit?
I don't think so. I don't think
he's
so.
Casual Tiger, or is he wearing golf attire?
100% golf attire, and it's going to be the logo of the shirt on the left chest. But to my knowledge, and thinking about how much of a Tiger Woods fiend and fan I am, I don't know if I ever saw Tiger wear non-Sunday red unless it was for like a TaylorMade commercial, a Titleist commercial back in the day, or actually playing. He's never, in my recollection, ever showed up at a press conference in Sunday red, ever. So I think unless they are forcing him or he's saying we have to go red for this, he is not going to wear the red. But I guess
I think that's interesting to say, like, hey, we're launching this. This is what it's going to look like. Expect to see Tiger wearing red, and this is what it's going to look like.
Yeah. Yeah, but
like
the
a hard
point
launch
is
to
he'll
it.
still wear the red on Sundays.
Oh, sure. That's his
It's
thing.
the logo that matters and the brand that the collar says. That to me is going to be the interesting piece. But listen,
Any
I
chance
don't
there's
want.
still a fox or a wolf on the collar?
Let's make sure I don't butcher that again because that was an embarrassing fox call ever. So no, it's not going to be a fox. But I would love. Listen, is there a hope in my little eyes that there could be a wolf on there? There is.
Until this is announced, you still got a bit of trepidation for it. You're still hoping.
Selfishly, personally, God, I think I would just go to the moon if the wolf appeared. I think I would. I think I'd buy everything I could possibly did. I might show up at golf courses forgetting about the drop podcast polos. And I'd be wearing the wolf all day long with my Sunday Tiger Red. Maybe I would. I'd be that guy.
That'd be great.
I'd probably be that guy.
Well, we'll see. We got a couple days. We'll talk about Tiger's interview next week or press conference is the word I'm looking for. We'll talk about that next week, but and go from there. Mike, I got one last thing on here.
Uh-oh.
And it's our golf course rating system. Now, I have it on here, and you and I don't need to go into detail about it right now because we got some time. But it should be put on our radar that we are going to be starting to golf soon. And while you did a poor to shit job of rating golf courses throughout the year, every time we played,
frankly, I don't know if I did one. You asking me off the top of my head, unless you grilled me on the podcast, I don't think I ever once went to the sheet to fill out the sheet to put the grades in. I don't think I did. I don't.
So,
and that's fine. I got an F. I failed.
That could be my thing. That's fine. But I wanted to put it out there because the sheet that we have there. We put it out last year. Our breakdown of what we were wanting to. I want us to start thinking about, and this is to you, Mike, listeners. If you got something you want to add to it, DM Mike, and he and I will chat about it. I'd say DM me, but he's going to read it before I do. Did we miss anything? Was it a good system? Do we need to change the points somewhere? What do we think of it?
Look at you evolving. That's been a big word today.
It has. Evolve
it's been a big word this podcast.
It sure has.
Evolving. And look at you coming. Kind of stepping outside your comfort zone. Modifying, adapting, frankly, evolving.
Well, I'm not saying that I'm doing it. To be fair, because I do think we have a pretty good rating system, but I think it was pretty good, and we're going to work on some posters. I am going to give you my top 5 coming out in the next couple of weeks from last year. The courses that rated the highest. I think you guys know which one was my favorite. I've already told you on this, but which one got rated the highest as well. But I'm gonna, we're gonna work on putting those out there and kind of give you the numbers. We talked about it, but let's see the breakdowns, right? I think we're going to show it to you. But is there anything missing? I just want to make sure. We're covering all of our bases. This is again supposed to be a thorough podcast, and we're gonna do our best. If we're missing something, I want to put it in there. To that point, also, I'd like to start another one. We joked about it last year, Mike, and you gave me a hard time, but I decided I'm going to do it.
No.
Golf carts. Golf carts, Mike. They're coming. Golf cart rating system coming in 2024. So again, same kind of thing.
Out of this conversation. This may be a single person episode when we're diving into how comfy the damn seat is on a golf cart.
I will say it's not going to ever be a deep dive, but it's just going to be something that I think people should know. I've toyed with the idea about maybe we only make it public courses because the private courses have more money. They're going to have more of the ability to access to the higher end golf carts and higher end amenities to it. But quite frankly, Mike, just like when you go to a restaurant, right? You're going to go out to dinner and you look up you pull it up on Google and you see that it only has 3.1 stars. You might change your mind about going to that restaurant, right? And I think this is the same kind of thing that we're doing with the golf course rating, and with the golf carts like that. I'm not saying that should deter someone, but if I know that the golf carts are just god awful at a place, and I'm thinking about playing one of these two places, yeah, maybe I choose the other one. So that's kind of the idea here, is to just shed some light, give people all the information that they possibly can. So with that, I got some ideas in my head, but I need help. DM Mike and he'll let me know about what are some attributes that you want on there.
Somehow those might get lost. No, I will pass. I'll pass them along. If the audience agrees with you in terms of they want input on different golf carts, does it come with the GPS? Does it not? Does it have comfy seats, wide seats, cup holders, whatever the case is? Obviously, I'll pass them along. But I guess my question to you, I know this is your baby. You love the golf cart. Does the golf cart matter in terms of the golf course I'm playing? Wow, you didn't even let me finish that. You had the answer before.
Because the golf cart does matter. In my opinion, the golf cart matters. If I'm taking a golf cart, it kind of matters. Now,
okay, that's fine. That's fine, because I didn't know. I knowing how wacky I can be. If the golf cart sucks, but I'm going to play a nice golf course, I don't give a shit.
Mike, to be fair, me neither. If I'm going to play a top-notch golf course, and they have just a vehicle that's got four wheels, shit, they could have a bicycle for all I care. That's fine. I'm still going to play the course. That's not deterring me.
Now that is something I need to see. Your ass on a bicycle playing golf. That's pay-per-view. That is pay-per-view.
I think that's not going to change my mind on it. But again, like if I go to, it's more so I want to know what I'm getting into, right? If I'm going to play a course and I know that the golf carts aren't good, then maybe I'll walk. Maybe I'll just mentally prepare myself. I'll bring my push cart and I'll walk.
Now, that's a great point. That's a great point.
So it's not necessarily deterring me from playing a bad, a course with a bad golf cart. It just, maybe I'll walk. Maybe if to your point, like a great course with a bad golf cart, maybe I'll grab a caddy. Like there's different things and different ways around it. It's just, again, it's not necessarily deterring me. It's just more information that I'm trying to get out there.
Which to that point, now that to me makes a lot of sense. That point right there would be like, all right, if I know the golf carts suck, okay, maybe I save the $25-$30 and I grab my pull cart or I walk. Now that to me is makes sense. And I think to your point though, the more information that you can gather about a spot, some people will use it, some people won't. And for the people that will use it, you're going to provide it.
Right. And that's the other thing, Mike, is kind of who you're playing. Like, what is the round? What's the objective of the round? Is the objective of the round, and I think you differ from this, but like sometimes I go out and I'm having like a competitive, like you and I go out and it's a golf round, right? I go out with some of my other friends that like to play golf, but they're not really golfers. It's more of a casual round. Like we're outside, we're hitting the ball, we're having drinks, we're having fun. I don't get to see them all the time. It's more about the
social.
It's more about the social than it is the golf, right? So in that aspect, if it is more about the social, then maybe I want to have a better golf cart because it's not necessarily about the golf, it's about the other stuff. So it's to that point. It's to that kind of stuff for me.
Love it.
Let us know how you want us to rate that. Like I got some ideas, but I'm a little I'm open to ideas for that. Yeah. Like, do we make it out of 100? Do we make it out of 50? So that's going to be a work in progress, ongoing, but the rating system, let us know anything different. We'll get it out there for you. We done, Mike? I think that's it for today.
A wrap. That's a wrap. Episode 70 in the books.
Let's
kick
go.
It off to our boy Danny Lewis.
Yep.
2023 Assistant PGA Player of the Year. Hollywood guy for 5 years. Hopped over to Philly Cricket Club. He's excited. And the stories he shares, just like all these other guests, I know that's what the audience enjoys. And that's another thing that Danny brings to the table. So Sorry
Yeah.
for taking your little spot there. But
No,
I was
that's okay.
excited. I'm excited.
You are.
You got me all ramped up. You got Live Golf. You got Evolving. You got your crazy golf carts. Like, now I got to get off the podcast and go do some chores. So, I mean, let's go.
Well, yeah. Again, Mike said it. Here's our interview with Danny. Enjoy.
Comstock Yacht Sales has been the Jersey Shore's #1 boat dealer since 1973. Did you know that Comstock now has 2 on-water sales locations to better serve the boaters across New Jersey? Their full-service marina is located at 704 Princeton Avenue in Bricktown, and their all-new sales location can be found at Navesink Marina in Seabright. Comstock currently carries some of the best boat brands manufactured today. The team at Comstock is proud to be New Jersey dealers for Regulator Center Consoles, Grady White Boats, Tiara Yachts, Sea Pro, Four Winds, and MGM Yachts. If you're looking for a new or pre-owned boat, or you're looking for help selling your current boat, Comstock Yacht Sales is the place to go. Go online to see their full new boat lineup or stop into one of their 2 locations today. They can be found at comstockmarina.com. That's comstockmarina.com. Or for immediate sales assistance, text them now at 732-604-1237. That's 732-604-1237. All right, so today's guest, man, this has been something that we've been trying to connect for quite some time, and we had a date last December, but things just did not work out. But even better, because things have kind of taken on a head of its own. Today's guest is the 2023 Rolex Assistant New Jersey PGA Assistant Player of the Year, and recently just got named head golf professional at the Philadelphia Cricket Club. Today's guest is Danny Lewis. Danny, thank you so much for coming on today's show.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I've been a big follower and looking forward to chatting with you guys.
Yeah, listen, I heard rumors through the grapevine that you were involved in conversations with going there. And it wasn't until Ryan mentioned it to me yesterday that he said, "Oh, by the way, do you know he officially got that job?" And I said, "I didn't," which makes this even better because the timing's perfect,
Right. Yeah.
So it's great. And listen, you're living the life down in Florida where it's a lot nicer. Here it's raining, cold, and miserable. So, the Northeast is kind of difficult right now. But,
Yeah.
I think before we get into all these accolades and all this great golf that you've played and the history that you have here in the Garden State, why don't you give the audience a little bit of a background about you, where you grew up, how you got into the game, and kind of to where you are today?
Sure. So I'm a Midwesterner, grew up in Cincinnati, Ohio. Was introduced to the game by my dad. He picked it up in '97, which, kind of right there with Tiger Woods winning the Masters. And I'm the Tiger generation. So he's always been my role model, still is. But yeah, grew up in Cincinnati, Ohio, went to school at Northern Kentucky University. And upon graduating, I worked at a club just outside of Cincinnati for about 5 years, Elks Run Golf Club. And then one of my teammates from Northern Kentucky was actually at Hollywood, Carl Hayes, and he recommended me to take his spot. And then I made the jump to Jersey in 2018. So,
Yeah, I mean, that's a great spot to jump to.
yeah, I couldn't have picked a much better one. I had no idea what I was jumping into, and that was
it's a great leap of faith. I mean, because I know when Ryan and I talk about that place specifically, it is so good, and for you to spend so much time there, it is truly amazing. So, like growing up, from the Midwest to coming east, what's a golf like in comparison out there to here? Is it tougher here? Is it a little more competitive here? What's the comparison like for someone who's been ingrained here in New Jersey the whole time?
I would say the courses are definitely a little bit tougher. And then, I mean, I always feel like the competition's, it's much stronger, especially once you start talking, you bring in the Long Island guys and and even Philly, and you group all of that together. This is kind of the mecca of our industry, and even amateur golf and beyond. So, that's what kind of drew me to coming to New Jersey, is the opportunities and playing against the competition, and kind of wanted to see how I was able to stack up in this part of the country, and then to have the opportunity I did, and to be at Hollywood, and just one of the amazing things in our section is getting to play all the courses we get to play: Plainfield and Baltusrol, and you could go down to Galloway. I mean, the list goes on, as you guys know. I mean, it's incredible what we get to do playing in our tournament schedule each year is a real treat. So that part of it's special, of what we get to do, and I'm definitely going to miss the New Jersey section. That's going to be that was a tough decision for me.
Right.
Hey, Danny, how are you? Sorry for jumping on late.
No.
Better late than never, big fella.
And I
Never.
didn't want to interrupt because it seemed like you were mid-story, so I wanted to just keep quiet, just sit, observe. I'm going to sit back and just kind of stay along for the ride. Did you said not be part of the Jersey sector anymore? Did we just break that news there? Did we talk about that? Did I miss that?
I hinted at it, Rye, because you told me and I heard it, but I didn't know it. You confirmed it yesterday, and I brought it right up, and wham, bam, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Hey, congrats, Danny. It's big news there.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, it was a great opportunity. Jim Smith over at Philly Cricket, he's been the director of golf there, I think 15, 16 years, and sat down with him back in December, and it was a perfect fit. A dream of mine when I got into the business was to become a head golf professional, and getting to do it at a place like Philly Cricket doesn't get much better. So really looking forward to that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Good for you. Do you know, I didn't know how new it was. I was worried that if it's not out in the public yet, I didn't know if you were going over. I didn't want to break news to the people at Hollywood they didn't know yet.
They all know it in Hollywood. I just haven't broke it. It's not Instagram news, but it will be now. So
that's kind of what we do. We got the scoops. We get the scoops here and there, and we throw it out there. We're not newsbreakers, but we can be.
No, we can. We got sources. We got people out in the field. We got feelers out there that they don't even know that they're feelers. So that's where we got that out there. So have you met with another guy who's one of the pros there at Philly Cricket is Chris Servin. Mm-hmm. Have you met Chris at all or know him at all?
I know of Chris. I know he spent some time. He's from the Ocean area, and spent some time. I think he worked at Deal, if I believe I'm right. And but I don't know him. I'm looking forward to working with him and spending some time.
Yeah, I didn't know if there was a connection there, because I know that he went to Ocean Township High School,
okay.
And I know that Ocean Township High School happens to play their golf matches at Hollywood and at Deal. So, and I know you're at Hollywood, so I didn't know if you knew if you had known him or were able just to connect with him. But a good guy to know, certainly, that you'll be working with more now.
Yeah, certainly. Just one of those odd things that it looks like there's a connection, but no, nothing.
Very cool.
So let's talk a little bit about your 2023 season. I mean, I think, when we had touched base last December about your 2022 season, it was another phenomenal year. And, obviously sometimes, like I said, the schedules just don't work out. And now we're kind of 12 months later, and you're continuing to play golf at such a high level. And I think when before I get into your results and winning tournaments and whatnot, I think one of the common things that we hear from a lot of pros is how much time they just can't practice. There's so much teaching going on. There's so much outside things that involve being a club professional or even assistant at certain spots where the game kind of suffers. How do you balance both those out while still maintaining a golf game that Ryan and I are beyond envious of?
Very envious.
It's definitely it's not easy. I'd be lying if I said it was. And it's certainly gotten harder the last couple of years. Got married and now got a brand new baby boy that's 2 months old. So
congrats.
Congrats.
Thank you. So
that's big news too.
That is
A lot of big changes in your life there.
I know. I'm just full. I've got the New Jersey pace now. It's just pick it up and keep going.
If you can live here, you can live anywhere.
That's right. So, I mean, I think the biggest thing for me is the job always came first, and the priority is the membership, the service, and whatever I could do to make that better at the club. That's what I tried to do. And then the playing side, I would just try to squeeze it in after work. If I could play 9 holes a few days a week, that was a big week of practice for me. I think sometimes I kind of get a little misconception that, oh, he's probably playing with the members all day and working on his game, but it's just not. I would love to do that, but that's just not. We're not able to. So when I can, I just play 9 holes and try to, keep the game as sharp as I can and go from there.
Yeah.
I mean, 9 holes at Hollywood though is quite a challenge. No matter what 9 you're playing, you could jump around and play the 9 easiest ones. You're still getting a good day's worth of practice with 9 holes there.
You are, yeah. It's a great place to hone in on your game and get you sharp for anywhere in the state.
Absolutely.
So, like, when you think back to your 2023 season, obviously when I look at like how you finished and some of the things, I feel like the one word that pops into my mind is just straight up consistent. Like there every time I looked at it, it was top 3, top 5, a win, top 10. There wasn't many times, and correct me if I'm wrong, that I think my research has you at T12 as the worst finish out of all of them in all the assistant events that were out there. Like, to me, like, that is a model of consistency where it's hard to be that good for the stretch of from April through October without really a hiccup.
Mm-hmm.
Like, talk about your season in a whole and kind of some highlights for you specifically.
Yeah, I think you touched on the consistency, and that's probably what I strive to do. I mean, anybody can be having a bad day and kind of throw in the towel and, we're on to the next week or on to the next round. But I take a lot of pride in grinding out a round. And when you don't have your game, putting up a 72 when your swing feels awful I think it's more fun to do that than when you go out and shoot 68, 69 and, you feel like you could have been lower. So I think that's probably the mental side of it is where I really kind of dive in and that's what's led to my consistency over the past year and over the last few years. And as a golfer, competitor, you guys know, you just want to get in the hunt. And that's what I tried to do, and just knock on the door, and eventually you're going to break through. I was kind of I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a late bloomer to kind of winning things. I didn't win many events growing up, and you kind of have to learn how to do it. And I'm not saying I know how to do it that well, but I just,
I think you do.
Yeah, it's a skill.
I'll give you a perfect example. Like, again, correct me if I'm wrong, but you have won the assistant championship 3 years in a row.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So the fact of the matter is, like, yeah, I get it. We can be humble, but I'll be the honest and blunt one here. Like, yes, you know how to win. And on top of knowing how to win, you know how to defend, because I think that's the added part to this whole thing is like
another skill.
Yeah. Like, winning at Canoe Brook, a very tough golf course. I know that, you were, kind of trailing after the first round there, but then to win by 5 shots, in golf, people think like 5, like, all right, not too much, but that's a lot of shots to win by. Like, talk about that tournament specifically, because, getting 3 in a row is a special thing to happen.
Sorry, you just broke up on me. I'd be lying if I said Canoe Brook's one of my favorite spots that we play on. And, this year specifically, I knew going in, I had the target on my back, and I knew what I had to do. And the first round, kind of was steady, nothing special. But when you know Canoe Brook, you know that the final round's on the north, and that's the course that you got to show up and you got to play well, and you got to put all the pieces together. And fortunately, I was able to put it together. I think I made a key eagle on hole 12 that day, and kind of looked to see where I was at, and saw at that time I had a good 2 or 3 shot lead, and then from there it was just stay focused and kind of just keep the momentum going and make some pars, and I was able to accomplish that, and it was a big, I want to say it was kind of like a big relief when that last putt went in, because all that pressure, all the build up, but there isn't much better feeling than that. That's for sure.
And when you speak about like how hard the golf course was, I mean, when you date back to that final round there in the North Course, like there was only one guy that went sub 70, only one guy, and that was you. And some of the leaders that had put up 67, 69, they were like 78, 80, like they didn't play very well, to your point. And the fact that you're able to kind of like rise to the challenge like that,
yep,
and be a quote late bloomer. Hell, I'm 40. I hope I'm a late bloomer soon too, because I would love to get some numbers like that.
Right. I mean, that was just such a special round. I'll probably remember that one for the rest of my life, and to do it there, and to become the only guy that's won it 3 times, let alone the last 3 years, was just the icing on the cake. So
yeah,
that's an event I'll miss most dearly.
So going back to when you said like being able to grind out 72 and when you don't have your best stuff, which is not something that I can relate to, but I can relate to the concept, right? So like 85, I would say would be my number. Like when I'm not shooting well, I'm always like, I try to get to 85. That is something that I because that's kind of right where I am. But when you're doing that, like when you're like, hey, I don't have my stuff, is there one thing in your game that you like, hey, I can do this, right? Whether it's like, I'm just going to hit like hit a stinger all day, take more club, less club, whatever it is. But like I have one swing or one club or one something or other that I'm just going to. What's that part of your game that you just like is there no matter what how you're playing?
So for me, my driving is, I would say, is the biggest strength that I have. And in the days that the driver gets a little wayward, I'll kind of go back to hitting a little low fade out there, and relying on that ball to get in the fairway. And then from there, the second part of it is I'll just, no matter what, unless I have, pitching wedge or in, I'll just disregard the pin. I'll just hit it in the middle of the green, and kind of, it seems like the times where I'm very conservative, I'm not trying to force birdies, I'm just kind of letting everything come to me. Those are some of the better rounds I have. So for me, just getting that little cut out there and play, not looking where the flag is, getting it on the green. And you never know. Sometimes you get a 20-footer here, and then the next one you're feeling good, and you make another 20-footer, and before you know it, you're kind of getting your mojo back. So it's little things. First you got to get the ball in play, and then I think just taking your eye off of the flag and having to be so precise helps me to free me up a little bit.
That's kind of like the opposite of like that aim small, miss small kind of thing. You aim big, get it on, and then just take your medicine, like get your 2-putt and kind of go.
Yeah.
So then on the flip side of that, bringing it back to your Canoe Brook round, is that what you think separated you in that last round, that being able to drive it so well and keep it in play? And while people are kind of falling by the wayside from you, is that the strength that you were able to rely on for that round?
I think it was. I think that it had a lot to do with it. I was just getting the ball in play, trying to be patient. I really wasn't again, I wasn't trying to go out and shoot 65, 66 and force everything. I was just kind of letting the round come to me and getting a feel for what the field was doing. I mean, if I would have went out that round and shot even par on the front with all pars, and then I can kind of assess. So I was just kind of letting everyone kind of play the round, see how it kind of shook up, and then was going from there. I mean, the eagle I made on 12 to get me going was I think 10 yards off the green and rolled in a putt up the hill from 40 feet. So it was just one of those where, what's that, a 2%er, and
maybe
That's just
a
meant
little
to
higher
be.
for you.
Yeah.
Maybe a little higher for you. It might be -2 for Ryan and I, but to your point, yes, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, just one of those where like that's meant to be, right? When you're playing like that, it's like the things start like as momentum is going, you always see that or feel that, right? It's going well for somebody, the momentum's going, and it's like, oh, of course they made a 40-footer. Of course they chipped in from off the green. Of course they're rolling here, and it's the stars are aligning for them.
Right. Yeah, and we've
all seen it.
Yeah, we've all been there and seen guys that get it going. And
well, I don't know about been there, but we've all at least seen it.
but so like obviously the year ends, okay? So you're talking like October, November, and you kind of see the next thing. And I know and I understand when guys are like yourself are still young and the aspirations are there to move on to what's next. It's kind of like the next step in this progress of, assistant golf professional. Let me start seeing what's out there. What led you to the Philadelphia Cricket Club, first of all? And then, I guess the second part to that is tell us a little bit about that place, because to my knowledge, again, I've never been there. I hear about it, the aura about it. I'm learning and educating myself on it that there's 2 golf courses there. Why don't you tell me about that process, about how it starts, and then a little bit about it?
Sure. So Kevin Wyneth, the head pro at Hollywood, we kind of, end of each year, we kind of sit down and talk about how the year went, what our aspirations are, where, he's big in helping me in my career and where I need to go, what I need to do to kind of get to be that head pro. So after we sat down and the end of the year, we kind of we were talking Baltusrol maybe to go there to be an assistant. Plainfield would have been another good spot. And Philly Cricket probably wasn't even on the radar at that point. And then,
are you just looking? I'm just interrupt when I can. Are you just looking to pad the resume at this point? Like maybe head pro is not the next thing. Let me go from Hollywood, which is well respected, to one of these super well respected, and again, just keep bolstering the resume.
Exactly.
Is that the thought process? Okay.
I thought, especially for me, because I only really have Hollywood on my resume, and the club that I was at in Cincinnati was semi-private. It doesn't really, when I walk in the room, no one really knows what that club is.
It's not holding the weight that others do. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I needed that one other club on the resume for when I go to get the big head job, wherever that may be. And we were a couple weeks in, and Kevin got an email from Jim Smith at Philly Cricket reaching out within his network for a head golf professional at St. Martin's. So I sent in a resume, did a Zoom call with Jim, and then went out and did an interview. And then it was funny. He called me when I was driving back and said, "You're my guy." So
awesome.
That was a great conversation. And but to explain a little bit about Philly Cricket, I'll be at the St. Martin's, the head golf professional at St. Martin's, which is it's a 9-hole facility, and it just was, I think, voted the number 2 short course in the country, right behind Pine Valley short course.
Wow.
So it's a great little 9-hole track. I think it was built in the early or mid 1800s. 1854 is when Philly Cricket was.
1895 was a 9-hole course.
1895. Okay. Yeah.
Mike's a numbers guy.
Yeah. I some things, honestly, I just I'm so glued to sometimes I just because I'm just a lunatic like that. But I didn't, and it's honestly, I hear all the amazing things about Philly Cricket Club, and I've been fortunate to connect with Todd Roy over there.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I'm a putting nightmare. Okay. I'm a putting nightmare. And sometimes when we're putting Instagram things out there, I'll just throw it out there. And I've randomly started communicating with Todd. And I'm sending DMs to him saying, "Bro, I don't care what it is. Help fix me." And we would go back and forth. And Todd's giving me because he'd roll the flat stick. And I'm like, dude, and I just DM him back. How do you do that? Like, I can't get the ball to roll on top of it to save its life. And no joke, he's helped me through DMs just trying to fix things. So, like, and then obviously Ryan has the connection with Chris over there as well. Like, it's amazing how when you're talking golfing in the Garden State, how much that network goes everywhere. Like when you talk about New Jersey and golfing, it's like, it's amazing that somehow, some way, everybody seems to be connected in one way or another. And I think this is just another example of so many examples Ryan and I have talked about, that here's another one. Like you going out there to a spot that is another very, very high level, well-respected golf course. Yeah, listen, it's funny how small this world can be.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, and I think the biggest draw for me, aside from everyone I talked to, when I asked them about Philly cricket, the place is awesome. The place is awesome. So I haven't heard one negative about the place, and still haven't. So I'm really excited to get going here in March.
So I have obviously never been there, but you said that you're the head pro at the 9-hole facility. How far away is that from? Like, I'm assuming it's under the Philly cricket umbrella, if I'm not mistaken. So you're at St. Martin's, and then they have 2 other courses.
One, Militia. Oh, 2. Oh, yeah, 2.
Yeah, there's Militia Hill and
Wissahickon.
Oh, yeah. That's why I wasn't going to say it, because I don't want to mispronounce it.
They call that the Flower Town campus, because it's about 12 minutes away from St. Martin's.
Okay.
So that's all golf up there at Flower Town, basically.
So they're all under the same umbrella, but just kind of within a little bit of a drive from one another.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, awesome.
And people that are members at all 3, or are they members at each specific one?
All 3.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
That gives you, I mean,
variety.
Yeah, a whole lot of variety.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of.
I think on Mondays the St. Martin's is open. The other 2 are closed or outing, so a lot of the members will come out to St. Martin's on.
You must be
Monday.
slammed. Yeah.
Play 9 holes and.
Wow, that's interesting. And then, go right.
I was going to ask, how does your how's it going to be with you playing? Obviously, you have this stellar playing career. You're now going from an assistant pro, which I would assume has a little bit more leeway to play, because you're going based on what your head pro is telling you. Now you're the head pro. Are you going to have the freedom to play as much as you do, or as much as you want to, or is that something that and I know that goes club to club between the pros. So what's your 2024 summer going to potentially look like?
Well, I don't know at this point.
TBD. Okay.
TBD. Yeah. I mean, everything's going to be new, which is always a challenge. Every course I play within the Philly section will be. I haven't played a course in Philly yet, so everything will be new, and looking forward to the challenge. I think I'll have a pretty good amount of time to practice. Jim's pretty flexible when it comes to the staff and working our hours and getting everybody some time to play and practice. So I do think there'll be some time to work on the game and try to make a name in Philly.
Yeah, I think that's a great question, right? In terms of what your schedule's like. Like, obviously you're a golfer. Like you can play the game. You're not just a teaching pro that, and I don't want to sound disrespectful, but you're on, in my eyes, you're up there winning golf tournaments. And some people may say, Mike, he's winning assistant tournaments. I frankly don't care. Winning is winning at the end of the day. And now that you're taking on, like Ryan said, a larger role, the playing is not going to not happen, right? Like, you're still going to be mixing it up in just a different section, but still in a sense playing in these tournaments.
Right. Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
And then when it comes to the teaching, is Jim handling all the teaching, or is that still something underneath your umbrella as well? Like, what's the difference in, I guess, job titles more or less? Like, I understand Jim is the director of golf, but he's not handling lessons per se. That's more under your umbrella, Chris's umbrella. Or am I wrong there?
Not wrong. I would say he's Well, the way they structure it at Philly Cricket is they kind of have, I think, I want to say 7 teaching professionals, and those are strictly, they're there to just teach only. And then myself, Chris, and Nate Eichner, the other head golf professional, will be able to teach, but it's kind of on a, when we're available basis. So it's not, you couldn't say, I want you at 10 a.m. I'd be like, man, I have to check my calendar, see what's going on, and might be able to make it work and go from there. So I do think there'll be some flexibility within it, kind of like the playing, but it's just not something that I will be able to do. Someone couldn't call me and be like, can I see you for a lesson tomorrow? Probably not. I need a few days.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense.
So, Danny, one thing I was curious about. This has nothing to do with Philly. We're coming back to Hollywood, but just an interesting point. A lot of assistant pros and on the bigger clubs, they have, like, for lack of a better term, on-campus housing. Mm-hmm. So at Hollywood, they have that big house there for you guys to live in, right? Did you live in there?
I did. I lived in there for, 4 years. I lived in there. Yeah.
Okay. So what's that? I think this is going to be an interesting, because we haven't had someone on to talk about this side of it yet. But what's that like living in as an assistant who's got this like dormitory style housing, or like what's it like living on property and being an assistant, kind of doing that grind?
It was awesome.
I actually thought he was going to say the other thing, like, man, that was a lot.
No,
because I feel like it's like an extension. If I have it right, I feel like it's an extension of college, right? It's all a bunch of guys who are either single, or we'll call it single adjacent, that go out afterwards, and then they're able to when you're young, you're able to drink a lot, get up early still, and then still come to work and sell some shirts and hit the ball.
Yeah.
Like, is that a fair estimate of what's going on in there, or am I gravely mistaken?
You don't have to go into too many details, but
it's a family show. We'll keep it PG.
Yeah, that was the Cliff Notes version. Yeah.
Okay.
But
is it more dorm style? Do you have your own room, or do you have a roommate? Is it like what's it like in that kind of atmosphere?
So they do have dorms at Hollywood. The house though is more of, I think there's 5 bedrooms in there. They might have added one, but everyone has their own bedroom. Probably sharing, I think there's 3 bathrooms in there, and you share with another guy. And then you have the kitchen that everyone shares, and then the big living space. So it was pretty awesome. I mean, the house sits there right behind the range.
Yep.
You walk right over to the range, you play till dark, you come home, you eat dinner, and you do it again the next day. So I didn't practice. I practiced all the time when I was living there. I mean, it was the greatest thing.
Yeah.
And obviously with the move though, are you guys, like, your family now, are you moving out southwest to Philly now? Or is that the new home?
We will be. Yeah. Yeah. So we're still looking. We'll probably rent for the first year and get a feel for the area a little bit more. And then we'll look because we do have a house up in Keyport, New Jersey, that we'll probably hold on to for now. So, but yeah, the idea is to move out there and see what happens.
Yeah, nice. That's great.
I wanted to ask, because we haven't had anyone on that I think, or at least know for sure, I could ask that question to. So this is the first opportunity.
Yeah. I think, obviously, I know Manasquan River has what they call a back house too, where some of the assistants, if they needed housing, would stay back there and things like that. But we've never gotten the inside scoop. We never had the inside scoop in terms of what's going on. But
yeah,
Danny,
I got one more question on it. I'm very interested.
Next question, you're going to ask him, can you move in? Since he's out. Hey, is there a spot?
If there's an open room, right, I'll hit balls until 9. It's dark, and then I'll go pick the range, and I'll crash on the couch. Now, is there like, how does the club do meals, or are you on your own totally? Do they provide you with food from it all, or? They
do, yeah. We get breakfast we'd call it brunch, 10:30, and then they do a dinner at 4. So
in the house for you, or in the club?
Over at the club, yeah.
Oh, okay. So all the food in the house is your own.
Yeah,
like your own stuff that you bought. Gotcha.
He's got to be somewhat of an adult.
I just
But the next thing you're going to ask him
think
is,
it's an interesting. I just think
do
it's a
they
little
reel it
interesting.
over? Do they have a silver spoon they put in your mouth? Yeah, listen. But I think, listen, I know I said this to you in the pre-show. I know the audience loves hearing stories about different experiences. And last week we were fortunate to have on, Chandler Withington, who told some unbelievable stories. He's a former head pro at Hazeltine when the Ryder Cup was there. And he told us so many different stories about being involved in those team meetings. And I can't lie how many people had like DM me and said, listen, this storytelling was unbelievable. I could listen to it. And I know when you and I were DMing back and forth that, politics aside, because regardless of what goes on here, the opportunity to play with a president doesn't come by too often, regardless if you like him, you dislike him, whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
But if that opportunity presents itself, I find it hard that anybody's passing it up, whether you agree with the policies or you're not that party, whatever the case is. And I know you were fortunate to play with President Trump. And I know the rumors going around like, he's got game. No, he really doesn't. He cheats. No, he doesn't. He wins club championships. And we could go back and forth a million times about this. But you got to see it firsthand.
Mm-hmm.
First off, like, what is that experience like?
It was unreal. I mean, I've played a lot of competitive golf, a lot of like big events. That was probably teeing off on hole 1 with him standing there watching. Might be as nervous as I've ever been.
Yeah.
I can't lie. I mean, the only other time I could think of when I was that nervous, Jack Nicklaus was watching me tee off a few years ago in Florida. Aside from that, I mean, it was awesome. I mean, I didn't sleep the night before, I think I got there an hour early and was hitting balls, and they're like, yeah, he's on his way. Okay. So I was hitting balls on the back of the range at Bedminster. And then I could see guys kind of hustling around, and I heard someone say he's on his way. And before you know it, there were 10 carts driving to the back of the range with him and the Secret Service. And it was getting to meet him was, one of the things I remember is when I went up to introduce myself, he didn't actually shake my hand. And, I'd heard some stories where he's not a big person. He doesn't want to shake people's hands unless he trusts you. So he just kind of gave me a little fist bump and pleasure to meet you, and just chit chatted, where you from, the basics. And, but if I fast forward all the way to the end of the round, when we were done, he gave me a big old handshake, and I got a picture. He had put his arm around me, did the thumbs up. I mean, so just seeing how he was able to change from an introduction to the end of the round was pretty cool. He didn't have to, even talk to me throughout the day, let alone do that. So, but I will say I was impressed with his golf game. I mean, he probably gets it out there 250. With roll, I would easily give him 250. I mean, He's a big guy.
Yeah.
In person, he's a pretty big guy. And when he gets it moving, he gets it out there. And
it's unconventional looking,
it's
to say the least.
Very unconventional. You wouldn't teach that, because you wouldn't be a teacher. But he's got great hand-eye coordination, and I was very impressed with his game. The number that was posted probably wasn't the number that he actually shot, but I mean, when people call him out for cheating, it's not him that actually does it. I mean, he'll hit a shot in there, the hole's blind, the caddies will go up and knock the ball, a few feet close to the hole. And, so he doesn't know. I mean, I don't know if he told him to do that, but
not advocating, but say that's where he would, if you're saying, I got you.
Yeah, right.
Is it at someone else? I remember someone saying this, if you had all that Secret Service watching where your ball went into the woods, they'd be able to find it too. Like he hits a ball and he's playing in a foursome. You got the caddies of the group. So figure 2 caddies, 3 other people, himself. But then what is there? 10, 12 Secret Service around him at all times that are probably out wandering. So you got a ton of people that are searching for a golf ball if he does hit it in the woods. So
exactly, yeah, and some extra golf balls in the caddy's bib. So he's always finding that tee ball, and how it's in the fairway. But
how was he on the golf course? Because obviously, again, politics aside, like I'm not trying to dive into certain aspects of things at all, but like when you're out there, some people can be more reserved and they keep to themselves, similar to the example you said about introduction to how things ended. But like during the course of the round, is there some chit chat? Is there some background things going on? Or is it you're just really kind of playing golf?
Probably one of the things that surprised me again was how chit-chatty he was. I mean, he loves golf, as everyone knows, but he really likes to learn golf. And when I played with him was, I think, the week after they had the Live Golf event up at his place. He was talking about playing with Patrick Reed and Cam Smith. He was talking about his short game, how incredible it was seeing that firsthand. To just see his love and passion for the game. I mean, he didn't talk politics with me around. I mean, he mentioned it to a couple of guys we were playing, but we were just talking golf and bouncing ideas on how to hit certain chip shots, what to do here in this situation. So it was like I was playing with one of the guys, really, and that was probably the aspect that surprised me the most.
Great short game, that Cam Smith. Tremendous short game. Such wonderfully soft hands. He's got tremendous hands.
Really
but I like that a guy like that who's on a stage like he is, who's always under scrutiny, good, bad, indifferent, like him,
the
hate him.
The production that his life is.
It's good that he can kind of step away and just play golf, because at the end of the day, it's amazing how many things can be brought together by this game. And obviously, like, again, I know you're now in Philly, but you've spent a decent amount of time here in New Jersey and being a kind of like, I like to think that you've kind of developed and grown up here more or less.
Mm-hmm.
When you think about New Jersey golf specifically, if I had to ask you like one public or one private spot that if people had the opportunity to go play, if they got invited to go play here or there, where would you tell them to go and they got to drop what they're doing and go do it? Now, I preface this by saying Hollywood's out because you'd be biased, and Pine Valley, the invite is very rare.
Mm-hmm.
Is there another spot in the state that you'd say, hey, listen, maybe on the public side or the private side, you got this invite, you got to go?
That's so hard. There's like 5 that pop in my head right away. Gosh.
Give me a few.
Okay, I would go Somerset Hills, Mountain Ridge. I would go Callaway. Plainfield would probably be right there too, just from Donald Ross classic architecture, and I could probably throw one more in there.
Have you gotten to play Union League yet?
I haven't. I really want to.
You'll be hitting that up.
When you said Galloway, that was my first thought. Was Union League is special, dude. It's really, really special.
Yeah, it's crazy nice. But right, it goes back to Mountain Ridge, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, Danny. I can't lie to you. We have no connection to Mountain Ridge. We know nobody at Mountain Ridge. We've tried, and I'm big on the DMs of like shooting things out there to maybe get lucky. But you have to be like now double digits in terms of people that say, when I ask that question, because I'm always curious, you have to be like the 10th or 11th person that we've interviewed that's like Mountain Ridge. Mountain Ridge.
I always say Mountain Ridge is the Hollywood of the North. That's my comparison. So,
well, I don't know. I don't know. I'll be emailing people now at Mountain Ridge because I just it's amazing because that's all people talk about.
No, it really is, and I don't want to beg because we've been fortunate to have some great opportunities.
Yeah, no doubt. I agree.
But like, That's a place that just like it's getting an aura now around it that we just everyone says it's a great place. Nobody belongs there apparently. We've had nobody that like has said, hey, like we'll have you guys out. The pro hasn't. We haven't been able to connect with anybody. It seems like it's like Tortuga from Pirates of the Caribbean. It's a place that only exists when you know how to get there.
Right.
It's incredible.
It's up on the hill. Yeah, no one knows how to get in.
Yeah. Crazy. So, Danny, question I like to end with. I got two for you to end with here. Someone who's played your level of competition, you played so much stuff that you got going on. Do you have any habits or quirks or superstitions that you have to do when you tee it up there? And the preface of this is that golfers can kind of tend to be quirky or a little off by nature. So what's one that's like, I don't really tell people this because I know it's kind of weird, but I just do it anyway because it makes me feel good.
I don't have anything that's like that weird, but I do have, my wife doesn't like to call them superstitions, but
Stu Hagestad corrected me and said we call them habits.
Habits, yeah. So I always have 7 balls in my bag, no matter what, 7 new ones. I normally only mark up 2 of them, but that's just my habit. And
okay.
I always have a plastic tee and 1 wooden tee in my left pocket, and right pocket is always divot repair, and I use a Hollywood coin, nothing too crazy. I used to only use quarters that ended in 1960s, just to see that 60s number. But I kind of went away from that and not that crazy anymore.
Maybe that's what I got to do, Mike. I got to start using quarter. Maybe I got to start seeing more 60s.
7 golf balls. A guy like Danny Lewis doesn't need 7 golf balls in his bag. Maybe 1 and a scuffed up number 2. But the fact of the matter is, maybe we need 7 golf balls in our bag, not somebody out there firing 68s on a whim.
So I'm guessing 7 because it's two sleeves in the one you're playing with, right? Is that what it is? So in the bag while you're playing is 6, or there's 7 in the bag?
7 in the bag. Or no, you got it. 6 in the bag, 1 I'm playing.
1,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He does only mark up 2 though, Mike, because
and the other
back
probably
9,
stay in the
he's
sleeve.
need the second one.
They probably just stay in the sleeve. Crazy.
Danny, I think Mike and I are pretty. We know where you live with where Hollywood is and that sort of thing, but you're going to answer the question anyway. That there's a great debate in New Jersey about a particular kind of breakfast meat. What is that breakfast meat's called?
Pork roll.
There you go. That's it.
That was a lock. That was a lock.
It was. You're in pork roll country, and then it's not like you were from North Jersey and then came south. Like everywhere that you're a pork roll guy through and through.
Pork roll, egg and cheese, all day.
That's what I'm talking about. But listen,
do yourself a favor before you leave the area. Head over to Asbury, go to Frank's, get yourself a pork roll, egg and cheese. If you don't know Frank's, it's the best one around.
I do. I know Frank's. So,
okay, good.
I would not know Frank's.
Very true.
But listen, I can't thank you enough. I know that we tried making this happen last winter, and schedules just got crazy and just didn't work out. But it's even more fitting with where you're at now and the accomplishments that you've had to get you on now. So I can't thank you enough for coming on today's show, and best of luck out in Philly Cricket Club, and hopefully we can get out there and see you one day.
Absolutely. I would love to have you guys out, and thanks again for having me. It was a pleasure, and best of luck to you guys. Keep spreading the word of Jersey golf. I love it.
Will do. Awesome, Danny. Thank you again. Appreciate it. Good luck there.
Thank you. I appreciate it.